Okay, I'd like to welcome all of you to another one of our uh, paid co-founder trainings that we do on Mondays and Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is Monday, January 19th at 9:30, and here we are again, another one of our paid training. We're very, very excited about the year 2026. Quick announcement, we are not going to have a business opportunity meeting tomorrow like we normally do on Tuesdays, again at 9:30. So make note of that. We will not have an opportunity call tomorrow. Okay. We just we have to put a few other things in place before we're going to kick those off again. And so the next paid training as far as the ones I'm doing will be on Thursday. Okay. So we've got today, Monday, and then we got Thursday. Again, we got to get people to show up to these trainings. It's best if they can show up live. We try to pick a convenient time for people around the world. I know people in Africa and Europe, it's not the best time, but we've offset that by we also do trainings for people in both French and English for that time zone with Mr. Gildas. Mr. Gildas can give us a shout out, maybe. Hello there, Mr. Gildas. I see that you're with us today.
Hey, Happy New Year.
So when do you do your trainings?
Yes, we do our trainings 8 p.m. London time on Tuesdays, Tuesdays English, Saturday English, and on Sundays still 8 p.m. London time French. So those are the different time zones that we cover with our different paid trainings.
All
So
right.
we are doing them already. So come join us at those times.
Thank you, and I appreciate you continuing to play that role. Thank you so much for doing that. All right,
You're
so that takes
welcome.
care of a little business I wanted to put in front of the training today. Um, so where do we go from here? Okay, so maybe some of you have noticed that where are the new coins? We're going to talk about that today, and then we're going to talk about where our focus is going to go and everything. Okay, so don't worry. Everything is secure. That's the first thing you need to know. Everything is secure. Okay. How about you all unmute and say, it's secure.
It's
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 secure.
totally
It's
secure.
secure.
Yeah,
It's secure.
It's
it's
secure.
Just
secure.
don't worry.
We're glad it's
Secure.
secure.
All
It's
right.
secure.
All right. So let me tell you. So if you take a look at your go to the website, pool funding website. Shoot. Let me see your pool funding. All right, if you go to everybody starts on their account page. And if you go to this here, the new coin transition, that's still available. You can also find it in here. Either one gets you there. Okay. All right. So you'll see that the amount of coins that you're getting in the smart contract are listed right here. Now the smart contract can open up as early as January 15th, 2027. Okay. That would be the soonest that these coins will be released into the wallets that you provided us. So you provided us a wallet here, and that's where these coins are going to go on January 15th, 2027. That'd be the earliest that happened. But I want you to pay close attention to this grand total here, okay? And I want you to look at that number right there. Now, how many of you have looked at that number? Have you all seen your number? What's your number? Okay.
Yes.
Mine's
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
$219 million. That's my number. And I'm not even the biggest number out there, by the way. There are some wells that are bigger than me, by the way, in how we've done this, but that's okay. I'm not envious. I appreciate everybody doing their part. So is there anybody here that's disappointed with the grand total number they see there?
No.
Not
Anybody
me.
disappointed about that number they see
Not
there?
me.
Nope. Not
Way.
disappointed at all.
All right. Now, the idea is we work hard this year so that next year, okay, as early as January 15th, 2027, those big numbers become like available to start, using the funds. Okay. And again, the way that we use funds is we don't go to the market to sell our coins. That's what the silly people do. Okay. No, instead, we want to either lend out our coins or we want to use our coins as collateral to borrow against them. And that is the direction we're heading with those big numbers. So basically, it is pointless. It is it's disadvantageous to the person that has coins, any of our coins, whether they're old coins or new coins or PML coins. It's disadvantageous right now at this time to sell any of them in the market. And that would include transferring your coins peer-to-peer to anybody. Okay, so whether you're doing it peer-to-peer or you're doing it in the market, you're exposing those coins to potentially, disrupting, what we're trying to do here. Okay. So we need to address the selling because we've got a number of parasites. Let me just call them parasites. You know what a parasite is, guys? What's a parasite, Hunter? Let's pick your brain.
A parasite is someone who's only there to take and not really do much of any good at all. And in this case, we see that with the sellers because they're not giving back, and they're just making the entire experience worse for everyone.
Okay. Well, I was looking for a more clinical definition, so I'm going to go ahead and give the clinical definition. And that a parasite is an organism that attaches itself to a host, and it's draining the resources of the host for its own, personal benefit. You know what I'm saying? And in the end, the parasite ends up dying. Okay, along the way. Okay, because eventually, what it's trying to get out of the host, it just runs out of it, and then it's dead. So, that doesn't sound like a good thing to be. Who would want to be a parasite? No one wants to be a parasite, right? So, but we do have some people. I know about half of our community are Filipinos, and you can see that we've had quite a few Filipino sellers, and I'm concerned about this specific group of people, okay, overall, okay? So right now, I want to launch a campaign to address that, okay? And we're going to make it fun, all right? So here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're gonna target the Filipinos because they're half of our community. Okay, but hey, some of our Filipino members. I mean, if you look at our numbers here, we've got 106 of us at the training today live, and we had 700 of us in the transition. Where's the other 600? Right? Could they be Filipinos? Maybe not joining us. I mean, it's morning time for them. Maybe they have jobs or whatever. But hey. I've noticed that when you go to YouTube and look at the number of views on our training, we don't get several hundred views. What that tells me is we have too many of our members literally not paying attention. And right now we're at a critical time. We need them all to pay attention. Okay. So I'm going to launch the following campaign as a way to get the attention of everyone, including our Filipino friends. Sound good?
Sounds good.
All right.
Good.
Yeah.
Yes.
great.
Here's the campaign. It's going to be a contest. You guys like contests?
Yeah. That'd be
Yes.
The contest is, and you're going to be the ones that vote on it, by the way. So the contest is whoever can make the best 30 to 60-second video. Okay. And I'm gonna explain this video in a second, but that's the task. So it's one winner, $500. Does that sound like a good deal?
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Whoever
I'm
can
in.
make
Yep.
the very best
That sounds good.
30 to 60-second video. And ideally, I know some of you might not be able to do this, but if you happen to be Filipino and you can do your video in Tagalog with English subtitles. Okay. that would be a star by itself. Okay. You're going to shoot for 5 stars. You're going to get a star right away. If you could get the video in Tagalog. Okay. And basically what I'm looking for is kind of like an interaction of some kind, like a short, I'll give you just an example. Wife catches husband selling pool funny coins. Okay. And then she gets mad at him. Okay. And you're ruining everything. Don't you realize what you've done? Now we can't get that $3,000 a month because you only got one face. Okay. You know, and our facial recognition is improving by the day to keep people that are banned out from coming back. Okay. So trust me, the people, if they only knew, think about it. If you're a Filipino and you're in a country where most of your countrywomen are, happy to pull in, maybe $200 a month at a good paying job. Well, how much better off would you be if you could pull in $3,000 a month and you didn't have to have a job? How much better off would you be? In about the time that a woman puts on her lipstick, that's all it takes to go onto our PML website and to do 2 loans. And if you've got $6,000 of PML in there, then you can instantly, get double your money. You don't even have to wait 30 days. It's instant. It's the moment you actually do the transactions, you're doubling your money instantly. Twice, right? Do it 2 times. That's $100 every day. $100 every day times 30 days is $3,000 a month. How much better off would a Filipino family be if, if the adults, okay, in the family were all collecting $3,000 a month, and each one just a daily task? It takes less time than it takes a woman to put on her lipstick, right? Think about how short that is, right? Doesn't take that long to put lipstick on if you're a woman, right? So, with the click, 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 and you're done. It's $100 banked away. Okay. Now, the whole point of the PML website is to convert to paper money. I'm going to talk more about that momentarily. But let me just make my point very clear about this contest. Okay. That selling prematurely, you might get that immediate gain, that immediate rush, that immediate, like whatever, maybe you made $500 by selling right now. And you sell everything or whatever, and it was coins that you didn't actually purchase in the first place. Maybe you got it through our system, you know what I'm saying, through accumulation, whatever. And then you turn around and sell it prematurely. You're not following our signals. And then the next thing you know, you get yourself banned. Okay. We've banned, quite a few people in our community. It's getting real close to about 300 people have been banned to using either one of our websites. So that means they can't use pool funding to create mass wealth and also cash flow, up to $1 million a year or more. You've eliminated your ability to do that because you've been banned. You can't use the website anymore. Your face is in the way. Hunter, how many faces do you have?
Just the one.
Just one, right? So you don't want to ruin it, guys. You only got one face. And it won't be long before we're going to make everybody kind of like do this inside of an oval. If you've been through other type of facial recognition systems, they make you kind of like rotate. So we're going to get lots of those little, and we're going to know who you are, right? And so we're really going to nail it down and make sure that we know who's who and what's what. And yeah, if you're banned, you're going to be banned for life. Okay, won't be able to come. Your face won't work on our websites. Imagine not being able to use the PML website forever. Okay, what's that going to cost you? $3,000 a month for the rest of your life. That's what it's going to cost you. That's a lot of money. Okay, just that alone. So if we can somehow get that point across in 30 to 60 seconds in some kind of an interesting way, maybe it's funny how the wife is yelling at the husband, something like that, make it hilarious. I don't know. and get the point across that, hey man, you only got one face and you ruined it now because you sold prematurely. You sold when you shouldn't have been selling. You're supposed to wait for price stability to do that. And you know, and now, you know, you're not now we can't get that $3,000 a month that we could have gotten, right? So you guys understand the nature of this video that we want to create for the contest? Is it clear? Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So when are we going to vote on this? Let's take a look at my calendar here. Let's see here. February 2nd is Monday. So how's that sound? Exactly 2 weeks from today. So
That's good.
So what you can do is you can submit your video. We'll create a page on the website for the contest, and then we'll let those of you that show up to the training vote on it on Monday the 2nd. That sound good? Maybe we'll put some kind of a code in there that you have to have the right code in order to cast a vote, something like that. I don't know. I'll come up with something. But the bottom line is that we'll vote on it then. So whoever's got the most votes from the people that show up at our training on Monday the 2nd, that's going to be the person that gets the 500, and we'll pay that person 500 right in the training. How's that sound?
Sounds
500
excellent.
in USDT. Okay, $500 USDT, of course, on the Binance Smart Chain. You know. So that's a good deal. Okay. And maybe if we get a bunch of these videos kind of saying the same message, you only got one face, and if you sell prematurely, you've ruined it for yourself for life. And that affects the family, you know. And what a silly thing to do, right? So I don't know, maybe she has a frying pan and she's gonna hit him over the head with it or something. I don't know. Just come up with something good, you know. You know, and make it so that people will remember that you only got one face and you don't want to ruin your ability to participate by not cooperating. Okay. Remember, the number one thing that we leverage in our pool funding community is group cooperation. Okay, we leverage everything, but the number one thing that we leverage is group cooperation. In other words, we're working with each other so we don't leave anybody behind, right? We don't want to leave people behind. We want everybody to win, right? And, you know, hey, look, if you take a look at PML right now, go to PML. It's current value of 264,000. So basically the market cap here is $264 trillion right now. Okay. When we reach price stability, it's going to be between 1.5 million and $2 million per coin. So that'd be 1.5 trillion to, I'm sorry, I should say quadrillion. Okay. It's good. You know, when we reach our point of price stability, we're going to have 1.5 quadrillion to 2 quadrillion market cap. Okay. So that's a lot of money, and that's real money. And basically, if you take a close examination of what we're doing here in pool funding, we're doing a lot more than the other guys. What are the other guys doing? They take money from people, they gather it all together, and then they redistribute it in little bits and pieces to a bunch of people, right? And all they're doing is shuffling money from the people's pockets around to people, right? And that's really limited. That kind of a opportunity is really limited because it's limited to what people have in their pockets, which ain't much, by the way. Okay. Whereas what we're doing, we've attached ourselves to where the money is at. Where's the money at? It's in the market. Okay. And we want this huge pump to be connected to something that's in the quadrillions, which gives the means to create that luxury economy we've always been talking about, so that, you know, we can pump money out of the market and put it into the hands of people. So we're not just shuffling our money around, we're taking money out of the market using the leverage of our group that cooperates, right? We're using group cooperation and we're pumping money out of the market and then bringing that money from the market into the pockets of our members. Does that sound like a good plan? That's a better plan,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
great plan.
Yes.
So look, with all that money, we could pay everybody in the world $3,000 a month. Why not? How's that sound? That'd be
That'd
good,
be
right?
awesome.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
That's some kind of goal.
And you don't have to be turned into a robot in the process. Okay, so that's the way we want it. They got this whole plan to introduce the what's it called? Now I'm having a brain lapse. Hunter, help me out.
Transhumanism.
Huh?
Transhumanism.
Well, it's transhumanism, but they wanted to give everybody. They realize that AI is going to take all the jobs, and robots are going to take all the jobs, and humans won't have anything to do to make money anymore. And so then they're gonna start giving out
UBI? Is it the UBI? Universal Basic
UBI,
Income?
universal basic income. There you go. But I've heard like they think that $2,000 a month is enough. You know what I'm saying? So, and then of course it's going to have all these strings attached to it. Like, if you blow your nose the wrong way, then all of a sudden you're out, so, but, yeah, so this is going to be a much better plan than whatever UBI comes up with. You know what I'm saying? Those people kind of wanting to push that agenda. And of course, what they really want is they want people to, get stuff inserted in their body, microchips and nanochips and all kinds of crazy stuff. It falls in line with the transhumanism, whole thing. And that's the people that are going to get the $2,000 a month UBI. And it's a crazy plan. The other guys, they're crazy. They're crazy with what they want to do. The money is in the market. It's been in the market all along. And so, we just need to, find a way that we can pull money from the market in a way that, benefits humanity. Okay. And especially our members. Okay. So that's what we're doing. But group
Ace, can we enter the addresses in the chat?
Oh, thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. Thanks for attending another one of our paid trainings. If you are qualified for paid training, go ahead and enter not the new wallet address that you gave us in the transition. You got to continue to use the old wallet address you've been using all along, that wallet address. Insert that in the chat, and we'll be here to pay you out your paid training right away. Okay? Put that in there. All right, thanks for reminding me to do that. I normally like to get that done earlier, so we have plenty of time to collect that information. All right, so I'm real excited about this contest. And so, in each video, I'm sure we're all going to be interested in watching these little 30 to 60-second videos to see what people come up with. As far as, whoever's got the most interesting one will win, obviously, right? By popularity, right? So very exciting, very, very exciting. Because if we could just get the message clear to some of the people that just simply, I don't think they're paying attention properly. All right. But maybe we can get their attention, especially, since half the community is Filipino. I'd really like to get their attention in their own language. All righty. Okay, so now I want to talk about the new coins. Okay, where are they? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, they don't exist yet. Okay, so you can't go looking for them because they haven't been created. Okay, so once we do create the coins, which only takes, by the way, 3 minutes. Okay, that's how long it takes to create a coin. Did you guys know that?
Yes.
It's copy and paste, baby.
No, I didn't know that.
We use the straight vanilla version so that we don't get flagged. I don't know why MetaMask and some of these people, get these little malicious things on our stuff. But if we got to figure out a way to, get rid of that malicious stuff that, because it's just not accurate. And it does kind of slow us down a little bit. But the fact is that we're using a very straight vanilla version of these coins. Some people refer to them as tokens. Okay, you just go to the Binance chain and create a straight vanilla version, and then put it in the blockchain, and then voila, you just created money. You got to get people to use it, of course, but you've created. It only takes 3 minutes to create. Okay, So creating the coins is not going to be an issue. We've already done it multiple times. But the next thing after we create the coins, then we got to add liquidity to the coins. Okay. Now, if you think about it, the opening price of these coins are going to be 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, and 4 million for the 4 coins. If you add that up, that's $7.5 million. We did not, through our pockets, accumulate and collect together $7.5 million, guys. Okay. We didn't do that. We don't need to do that, by the way, but we didn't do that. Okay. So we're not going to have $7.5 million of liquidity. We're going to have a coin value. PFI, the new version of it, is going to be a $500,000 value. Okay. Liquidity on it might be something like $5,000-$6,000, something like that. Okay. PFB, same thing. It's going to be valued at about $1 million per coin. Okay. But the liquidity on it might be only like $7,000 or $8,000. Okay. And so on for the PFS and PFG. When it's all said and done, it's not going to take more than, maybe 30,000 or whatever. So I've already raised that money to provide liquidity to get the price of our coins up to that opening price of 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, and 4 million. Okay, those funds are they're all set. Okay. So, but what we're missing right now is we don't have enough momentum. And so I met with the Wells yesterday, and we had kind of like I would call it maybe our first board meeting, if you will. Met with the Wells yesterday, and I explained this to them, that we don't have enough momentum for me to feel comfortable launching these coins and putting that in it, basically exposing that liquidity, out there in the open market. Now, I'm not so concerned about outsiders that don't know anything about pool funding. I'm not concerned about them. I'm concerned about the parasites who can come in and they would just try to go in and buy coin and then try to sell it down. And that's what they do. They just want to drain everything. And we've seen what they've done with the old coins. It's horrible what they've done, So we don't want to repeat that. Okay, so we have to create momentum before we launch these coins. That's kind of step one, is create momentum. Okay, so those of you that are Wells, do you think it's a good idea to wait until we have momentum before we put that liquidity out there and expose it in the market? Yeah,
Yes.
without a doubt.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
momentum
Yeah,
for sure.
community.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yes.
All right. So you heard it from the Wells. Okay. So this is not a dictatorship. Okay. So this is the deal, guys. We're in this together. We want to win and we want to play smart. Okay. So in order to do that, we got to do things in their proper order. Okay. So we need to create momentum, and I'm going to talk about how we're going to achieve that and how quickly we can achieve it. And after we've created the momentum, then we'll launch the coins, knowing that we've got enough momentum to get the price to just go up and up and up from there. The starting point. So the starting point is 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million. Okay. That's the starting point. But as soon as we launch these coins, they should immediately start seeing buying action immediately on them, and there should be consistent buying action going forward. Okay, on all of our coins. So that's the kind of momentum we want to have, so that if someone does something silly like prematurely selling, coins, then we can overcome that quickly with enough momentum. That's the answer. Are we all clear on the answer? Yeah?
Yes.
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 So this is the plan, okay?
Momentum.
This is the plan. We're going to create momentum first. But I want to be real specific where we're going to create momentum, because we have multiple places we could attach that momentum to, but there's one specific place that I want to attach it to first to demonstrate that we can create momentum. Okay, we need to demonstrate to ourselves that we can create momentum, because we failed to do so last year. Okay, we failed. All right, so that being the case, we're going to create momentum first on the PML coin. Now, why do I say that? I say that because the PML coin represents probably our most powerful tool to smash poverty in the world. Okay? $3,000 a month in the hands of a poor family could end poverty for that poor family. Am I clear on that? What if
Yes.
what if
Yeah.
there's two adults in that poor family? What if there's a husband and a wife? Then in a traditional family, that's what you see, right? That could be $6,000 a month, right? Hey, what if they have like a child in the family that lives at home, okay? And they're an adult, let's just say the standard around the world is 18 years old, right? So they're an adult, and there's three of them in the family that that could be $9,000 a month. Can you see how that would smash poverty around the world?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Do you guys want to smash poverty in the world?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Smash it.
Yes.
Yep.
Are
Take
we
it
going to wait for
down.
the government to
Oh,
do it
yeah.
for us? Are we going to keep on waiting for the government to do it?
Not
No.
gonna happen.
How about the United Nations? Can we trust that they're going to get the job done?
Oh,
No.
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 Of course not. Yeah, they're part of the problem. Talking about parasites, there's a couple of big ones there.
We want to give
So,
more kids Christmas presents.
what's that?
We want to give more kids Christmas presents.
That's it. Yeah, we want to make sure Santa Claus delivers to every child around the world, not just the people that have money, right?
Yeah.
So look, we could get this message around the world that, hey, look, we have a poverty smashing machine. It's called PML, and it's so easy that in about the time it takes to put on lipstick, you can get the job done every day, what you got to do to smash poverty for your family, right? Yeah, just a little simple thing you got to do every day online, whether you got a phone or a computer, don't matter. You can get the job done, okay? Now, there's going to be two kinds of people inside of PML going forward, okay? We're going to have the people who I'm going to call the harvesters, okay? And the other people, we're going to call them the accumulators, okay? Now, if you're accumulating, does it make sense to sell?
Yes.
No.
No,
No.
not at
No.
all. If you're accumulating, then the idea is you're accumulating to what? You want to get your thing up to $6,000, right? You want to have $6,000 of PML, and then that puts you in a position to let the guarantee pay you, every day $100. Click, 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 boom, you get $100. Done. You don't have to wait for a borrower to come in and borrow the money and then pay you back, wait 30 days. No, it's instant. That's how it works with PML. But there's very few of you that are even at that point right now. Let's take a look at who they are. We only have a few people that are kind of in the harvest group right now. So if you take a look here, we go to, let's see, account, then we go to holding, and we go top 100 PML holding, okay. Expand it to 30. All right, boom, okay. All right, so this is one of our wells right here. They still have, 11% of a PML coin, and that's worth currently at $30,000. This is me, okay, right here, Ace Fletcher, okay. I've got about $14,000, and that's over 6,000. And then we got a few others that, pretty much everybody you see here, they're wells, okay. The people you see here, pretty much all of them are wells, okay. And the top 30, the bottom of it is 8,000. So, number 30's got $8,000 on today's price, okay. We go to the next page, and then it goes from 8 to 7 down to 6, and then lower and lower, and then there we go, number 52. So out of, I don't know, what are we looking at here? out of 893 holders of PML, there's only 52, well, not even that, it's more like 51. There's only 51 holders oh, it's 52. This is the it's eliminated all the smart contracts in the stockpile. Okay, so there's only 52 of you that would be what I consider in the harvest group. So this person here, they have $233. They could harvest that. This one's got $416. They could harvest that. This one's got 524. They could harvest that. You understand what I mean by harvesting? Okay. 7,427. They've got 1,427 they could harvest, meaning that they could sell it when that becomes open for them to sell. Okay. Everybody else, they should be accumulating. Okay. This is what we got to teach and train, because accumulation may look something like this. Okay. Slide this over a little bit. This is kind of what accumulation looks like. Okay. Even if a person just started with just one lend of $50 on their first month, they'd have $100 that they could use in their second month, and they can turn that $100 into 200, and the 200 could be turned into 400, and the 400 could be turned into 800. This is what accumulation looks like, right? It may take a number of months for people to climb their way up to $6,000, but it's worth it, right? I mean, think about the other options these poor families have around the world. Okay. Most of them are told that they need some sort of an education that might take years of, they got to pay for the education first. and then they've got to, whatever, all the conventional stuff that's basically at this point, it's useless. Okay. With AI, robots, with the transition that we're in, the whole idea of going to school, get a good job, throw that whole idea out the window. It doesn't apply to society today. Okay. So I mean, look, that's what people are willing to do. They're willing to go through all sorts of like years of preparation before they ever get in a position where they have the skills, that would get them to the point where they could earn something significant, like $3,000 a month. Right? And most poor people can't even afford to get the education in the first place. So they're kind of out. They're left behind. So that's why poverty persists. It's because a real solution hasn't been provided. Okay. But with what we got going on here, PML can smash poverty because a person could start today with practically nothing, and in a matter of months accumulate $6,000 a month. And certainly by that time, we're in price stability, and then they could be a harvester too. And they could just start harvesting whatever is above the 6,000. And, and we're going to talk about how to do that in a smart way. Okay. So am I very clear what I mean by the accumulators and the harvesters? Am I clear about the two categories? Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It's very important
Nice.
that we teach
Yes.
everyone the difference. That if you're selling prematurely, you're a parasite. You're not an accumulator or a harvester. You're a parasite. So, the parasites get banned, right? You only got one face, okay? So don't ruin it. Don't ruin your chances for, get banned for life, and that's be a terrible thing. So there's going to be plenty of people that are going to jump into the PML opportunity as we march into 2026. They're going to come in, take a look at what we're doing, and they're going to be loose for $3,000, $6,000, no problem. And on day number one, they're going to buy $3,000 to $6,000 on day one, because there's an incentive to have 3,000 and there's an incentive to have 6,000. That's why I say those numbers. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of people on day number one. They're going to buy $3,000 to $6,000. Do you know if one person today, just one, if one person came in today with $6,000 and sat there and, because you couldn't just do it in one buy. You can't just go, I want $6,000 of PML in one transaction. It won't let you do it. Okay. Have any of you tried to do a big amount like that?
No.
It doesn't work. You gotta chunk it out, right? Like, you gotta chunk it out. So it might take a little while to, but in the course of that day, they can buy that $6,000 worth of coin, And then now they're in a position that they can be a harvester day number one. That makes sense? Okay. That's a good deal, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we know there's lots of people. There's like somewhere between 5 to 10% of the world population that would have the ability to, on day number one, buy $3,000 to $6,000 on day number one. And as we spread our message out to the world, that 5 to 10% are going to be alerted to that, and they'd be silly not to join us. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Well,
As long as people
one
are clear on the
question.
opportunity. Yeah. Go ahead.
Why can't you buy, why does it have to be in chunks, may I ask? Why
Huh?
can't you buy 3,000 or 6,000 right straight out? I'm not
It's
sure
because
why.
it's because of liquidity. So, at this point, let me show you the liquidity. Okay.
Sure. You can do that.
So if you go to the market and we look at PML, okay, let me just give it a quick refresh. So here's the liquidity right there. There is, $4,614 of USDT available in liquidity. And the equivalent to that is 0.024 of PML. So those are equal to each other. So $4,613 is equal to 0.024 of a PML coin right now at this moment. Okay. So if you were to go to try to buy, I could just demonstrate that. Let me just make sure I'm in a wallet that could do that. Okay. Let me just go to the guarantee wallet. All right. We'll jump over here, Pancake Swap. Okay. And let's see here. PML. Let's see here. Trade swap. USDT. And we go PML. So if I go $6,000 here, okay, it's going to say can't do it. All right, see, I can't even press the button to buy. And the reason is that it's not got there's not enough liquidity there, okay? There's not enough liquidity there to, 6,000 there, it only has about $4,000 of PML, right? And that's what I'm trying to buy up. So that's why it won't let me, okay? Price impact, all that. So it won't let me do it. But if I wanted to do a smaller amount, let's say I wanted to do $50, no problem. I can swap, okay? Let's see if I want to do $100. Yep, it'll let me swap. If I want to do $500. See, it changed color there. So it's getting to the point where I can't do it anymore. Okay, it went from blue to red. So if I do $500, it's gonna be a lot of slippage. Okay. And if I do $1,000, they're not gonna let me. Okay. It's just how it works. Is that clear enough for you?
Yeah, for the people who are going to be trying to bring in, a lot of them won't know this because, like me, they'll be newbies and they won't be educated. But how you just explained it makes perfect sense. So we have to alert them to the fact that they would probably have to buy in bits and pieces. They might get frustrated, trying to do 3,000, 6,000, keep doing 3,000, 6,000 and not getting through. They might just give up.
Well, that's why we believe in pool funding and hand holding. Are we good at holding hands in pool funding?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay.
The best.
We wouldn't just take a brand new person that doesn't know the first thing about crypto and say, okay, go to the market and buy $3,000 or go to the market, buy 6,000, go figure it out. No, we hold people's hands and we teach them until they get it. So that's the way we do it. Okay. So I'm not concerned about it.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Okay. How many of you are excited about working with our executive team? Have you found them to be very helpful?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Very helpful.
Talk about hand holding. Do you feel like your hands are being held when you approach our executive team?
Yes, they're wonderful.
Yes, very
And
much so.
even you got Hunter here. He's pitching in all the time. He's offering his hand all the time. So he's been Mr. Dependable.
He's a machine, Hunter is.
He's a machine. We appreciate you.
Beep, bleep, bloop.
So look, we know that doing Zoom calls like this one-on-one is very, very helpful in teaching our new people that might not know anything about crypto or digital money, everything they need to know and understand so that they're comfortable in making a move like this. But once it catches on, okay, when people can see that you can get in and you can get out quickly, right? Then we got them for life. Okay. So let's talk about price stability now. Now, my target to reach price stability in the PML coin is somewhere between 2 weeks from now to 6 weeks from now. So we're talking by the end of the month here, or maybe by the end of next month. Okay. That's the time frame I believe we can achieve, momentum with PML and also create price stability, in that same time frame. Okay, so the combination of the two works really well. So the first thing we got to do is we got to get the price of PML up to $1 million. Right now we're at $250,000, approaching 300,000. That's kind of step number one. And then what will happen if you have $1 million? If the price is $1 million, a lot of you that might have maybe $2,000 or $3,000 of PML right now, by the time we get the price up to $1 million, you'll be a harvester, right? Just like that, just because the price is going up. Group cooperation. Say it with me. Group cooperation.
Group cooperation.
Yeah. You see, that's the beauty of it. We all win together. Okay. So we just wait till we get there. Now when we get to $1 million, then I'm going to say, okay, the price target we need to get to is I believe we left off at 1.2 million. Okay. So we need to get the price to $1 million. We'll celebrate the moment because it's a milestone. And then we'll say we need to bump it to 1.2 million. When we hit 1.2 million, we'll turn selling on. We'll turn the signal on to sell. Like maybe you can do one $20 sell if you really need that money. You know what I'm saying? Most of you probably don't need it. Don't sell. Just accumulate. Wait for it. But there's some people, like I said, half our community is Filipinos, and $20 more meaningful to them in that country, just for economical reasons. So some of them probably would sell and grab that $20. It would be helpful at that moment. But in the meantime, we get to the point where the price doesn't go down below $1 million, because that's if it hits $1 million, then at that point we would turn the signal where they can't sell anymore. Then the next price target would be 1.4 million. So we climb up to 1.4 million. And this has all been, if you were around last year, this was all part of the plan. Let me find the chart here. Let me share my screen. So this has all been charted out last year. This is our PML price projection. Okay. So we're currently at the 1.2. Okay, so we got to get to 1.2. Okay, and then we'll let it come back down to $1 million. If or maybe not. What would be better is our community is so disciplined that we don't even bother going down to $1 million. We just make our way over to 1.4, and then we just make our way over to 1.6 and 1.8 and 2 million. Okay. Once we hit the magic number of 2 million, that's basically 2 quadrillion in market cap. Okay, that's a huge number. So with that 2 million, then we'll basically say, okay, we're ready to test our ability to see if the community can keep the price above 1.5 million. Okay. Imagine not using signals, but instead we just have a margin that's between 1.5 million and $2 million per coin. And everybody knows that that's the margin. Okay. And if it gets close, Paul out of the UK, if you'd like $500 to, harvest $500, but the price is really close to 1.5 million, are you going to? Are you gonna pop the 500, or are you gonna wait a little bit?
No, I'm gonna wait. That'd be
Yeah.
stupid.
Let's say the price goes to 1.6 million. You could probably pull $500 out, be no problem. Okay,
Okay.
right? Because you're not going to do it on the line, but with a little bit of room,
Yeah.
you could do it. But the idea
Absolutely.
is that we bounce around between 1.5 million and 2 million, and we don't, and then people are able to sell into paper money and pay their bills with it. And the idea is we get so good at it that everybody that's got $6,000 or more of coin are able to harvest what's left over, which would be 3,000 every month. The ideal situation we're shooting for is, once you're a harvester, you'll be able to just sell $3,000 a month every month, and use that to smash poverty for your own personal situation. So that's the idea. Okay, but price stability is what we need. And so we need to climb our way out of where we've been. We've been in the dumpster. So we got to come out of the dumpster and get up to that 1 million, celebrate the moment, get to 1.2 million, and then let's see what happens. See if people I turn the signal that you can sell, and then hardly anybody's selling because people don't care for the $20. They just yeah, I'll wait, And then the next thing you know, we're at 1.4 million, and people are like, yeah, I'll wait. Hey, we could get to that 2 million mark within 2 weeks from today. No problem. Right? It's only the desperate people that are kind of screwing up everything. Okay. So we need to kind of get their attention. That's why we're running the contest. When to get their attention is, we got to tell them that it's not smart to sell prematurely. Because you're going to get banned, and then you only got one face, right? So that's it. That's a short-term gain, but a long-term pain. The pain of knowing that you screwed it up for the rest of your life. All right. So, so yeah, once we get there, the idea is that we won't need signals at some point because everybody just knows that you don't sell when the price is close to 1.5 million. You don't sell. You wait for it to have a little bit of breathing room before you sell, right? Now, if it's like one and a half, it's real close to 1.5 million, and you want to pull $20 out, that probably wouldn't be a problem. But if you want to pull $500 out, that could be enough to drop it below the 1.5 million, and then boom, that would trigger signals again. Okay. I'm just being very, very clear what the future looks like in PML. Because once we get this poverty smashing machine working properly, okay, we'll be able to grab large quantities of people from all over the world and bring them into it, which helps us create more strength in that price stability, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Good plan?
The best.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
plan.
Yes, great plan.
Absolutely.
All right. So if anybody's anxious to go see where their coins are, just tell them here's what you got to do. Go to the website and just be really happy looking at your number. Okay. Get to the point you're really happy looking at your number. Okay, right here. This grand total here. Okay. You're real happy about that. That's your number. And even if that number is like $2,000, That's probably because you only put in, a few dollars, you know what I'm saying? Into this thing. But if it's $10,000, that's life-changing money for most of you, right? If it's $100,000, it's crazy money. But I'm at $219 million. What do you call that? Okay. I don't even know if there's a right word for that. It's so big, right? So
Huge money.
yeah, it's just, oh my gosh, set for life. That's what we call it, the Set for Life campaign. How many of you want to be set for life? Never
Yeah.
worry about
I
money
do.
ever
Yeah.
again. Ever,
Absolutely.
ever,
Yeah.
ever.
Heck
Yeah.
All right. Well, that
Yeah.
was the whole point of the transition. Okay. So that you can be set for life, knowing that we're going to work really hard in 2026 so that from 2027, all of us are set for life. So good incentive to go to work, to be set for life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most people you got there
Absolutely.
definitely
Yes.
set you up for
Excellent
life.
incentive.
All right. So,
Yeah.
now I haven't talked much about the pool funding website. And as I talked to the Wells about this yesterday, we've even kind of, thought maybe we should put the pool funding website on pause for, a week or two, just to really get everybody's attention that our entire focus is on PML. What do you guys think about that idea?
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's the right place to
Sounds
put our
good.
focus.
Yeah. Look at
Excellent.
Yes.
Okay, well, let me put a few things in place
Definitely.
before I do that, because you got to give people proper notice, and there's only, out of the 700 that transition, there's only 100 of you present, so we got to make sure everybody knows what's going on before I do something like that. Otherwise, we end up in, chaos, So we got to communicate properly to everyone before I do that, so that they know that we're doing it in the best interest of everyone. That look, we need to get our attention here. We need to get this poverty smashing machine. I refer to it as the starter of our cash flow engine. I look at the pool funding website as the cash flow engine, and attached to the engine is the starter. Now, if you take the starter off the engine, can you start it?
No.
No, you can't start it. And then is that engine going to take you anywhere if you can't start it?
No.
No.
See,
Nope.
that's why we created the pool funding, the PML website, because we needed the starter. Okay. But everything's been kind of clunky. 2025 was kind of clunky. The whole year was kind of clunky, and we did our best to, because literally we're like, we're in the air in an airplane while we're still building the airplane that we're actually flying. Okay, that's what we're doing right now, guys. Welcome to entrepreneurship. Okay, every entrepreneur goes through this. Okay, including us here in pool funding. You just got to work with what you got and just keep pounding and grinding and moving and shaking it and hustling and whatever until you finally get something that's a smooth ride, and you can go from there. Okay, just takes time to put together. You got to start somewhere. That's how everything works. All right, so we got clear direction now where we're going. We got a cool little contest we're putting together. And don't worry, when the time is right, and this won't be my decision, by the way, the time is right when the Wells think the time is right. Okay, when at least by majority. Okay, that's when the new coins will be launched, the liquidity will be applied to it, and we'll then put our attention on putting momentum into it at that moment. Okay. Because it's got to go, we got to hit it hard. We got to, like that PFI coin, it should go from 500,000 to 1 million in a heartbeat. Okay. By putting our attention on it, things like that. So just pump it up enough so that the prices are above the 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, 4 million on all the coins. But we have to have proper attention and focus and, means, collective means in order to cast it in so that we have a successful launch of the new coins and we don't repeat the disaster we experienced last year. Okay. I'm not sure about you, but I don't want to repeat that one. Okay. Right?
Right. That's a learning curve.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. In the airplane, we're building it as we're flying it. So it kind of goes that's how it goes. All right. So okay, so I think that's pretty clear. I guess I could open it up to a few questions. If anybody's got questions, now would be the time to ask. You lit up, Ken. Did you have a question? All right. All right. Did I do it again? Okay, Paul. Go ahead, Paul. What's on your
Yeah,
mind?
I just wonder if the community really knows how much they need to help themselves, help us. I mean, I'm fortunate enough to be one of the whales, and we, we want to see this succeed. We will do our part, but we really need the help of everybody in the community as well. So this is going to make a huge difference. So yeah, just want to put that out there.
I mean, I've got an old video on YouTube, and it's the title of it is "Help Me Help You," right?
Absolutely.
And that's the idea. Like, look, guys, um, we've got a brilliant idea here how to move humanity forward financially, okay? By using the same thing that's been around for thousands of years, the market, okay? And we're in a digital time, so we can take advantage of that too. The market, the digital age, and the fact that we can just all get online with our phones or our computers and attach ourselves to that and suck money out and make everything better for humanity. Okay. So this plan is very strategic. If you look at the design of it, there's a lot of strategy that's involved here. There's no randomness to what we're doing here. And number one was we're leveraging what? What are we leveraging? Number one.
Time.
Wrong answer if you said
The
time.
market.
Wrong answer if you said
The
market.
market.
Okay.
People.
I'll repeat. The number one thing we're leveraging in pool funding is group cooperation. Say it. The number one thing.
Group cooperation.
Leveraging group cooperation.
Yeah. Because we all win together through group cooperation. If we allow the sellers to compete with us and drag us down in the mud, then they come out with a few pennies in their pockets and some satisfaction, but they have created a horrible experience for the rest of us, haven't they? Right?
Absolutely.
That's not cooperation. That's being a parasite. Okay, we're the host, collectively, we're the host, and these parasites come in and break all of our rules and break all of our strategy, and they just dismiss it completely, only thinking about themselves and the temporary relief that they might get from selling prematurely. And that's why they're getting the boot up the ass. Okay, that's where it belongs. Okay, bye mofo. Bye. See you later, alligator. I mean, we're done with you. We are done with these guys that only care about themselves and can't see that we're trying to help them more than anyone else. Right? We're trying to help these people that are screwing it up for the rest of us. So because of their lack of intelligence or character or whatever it is they're lacking something, right? They have messed it up for themselves and they've messed it up for us temporarily. They've set us back. And we're not having it anymore. We're done. We're not having it. Okay. So I'll come back to you, Paul. I see Joe just put his hand up. Go ahead, Joe. What's on your mind?
Yeah. So on that note, so are we talking about a one and done? If somebody goes ahead and sells prematurely,
Yep.
that's it. You get
That's-
one strike and that's it.
That's how it should be, right?
And I think it should be that way. It should be very harsh consequence for not following our program.
Yeah.
So I
Yes.
just wanted to, make sure I had that right.
One and
Zero
done.
tolerance.
But see, it starts with all of us, doesn't it? If we don't know that the first thing that we're leveraging is group cooperation, then maybe that's not the first thing that we're talking about. And maybe that's the first thing we should be talking about when we introduce this to someone. It's like, you need to know this is a cooperative. If you violate the cooperative, you'll be banned immediately. and you won't
Yeah.
ever be able to come back. And we're trying to give you a poverty smashing machine. We're trying to give you a pathway to where you could become a millionaire in less than a year. We're trying to give you all this great stuff. Don't get in the way of that. Get out of the way so that we can provide that to you, right? So someone just thinking for themselves, and being careless, they're gonna prematurely sell when they're gonna like receive some of our our giveaways and receive some of our doubling money, and they're gonna receive something great, and then turn around and sell it, and then what have they done? They've violated the very first thing that we're leveraging, right? And leverage is the way to wealth, and leverage is the way to create mass quantities of cash flow. Leverage, leverage, leverage. That is the answer. Okay. If you didn't know that, that's the answer. Okay, Paul, you took your hand down, so I'm gonna go to Mary. Hello, Mary, our Jersey girl. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good.
So, I mean, am I right in thinking about that this is basically, we're all co-founders of one big bank, like we're all banking our money together.
Yeah.
And then when the time is right and we go to a big blockchain like Aave, right? And then we're lending our coins to them to leverage our money.
Yeah.
Am I right?
You are correct. That's the plan.
Oh. And I think that's where sometimes there's confusion.
Yeah. Which part?
This is like we're all going to be our own bank one day. And we're all co-founders of a bank.
Yeah.
And we're leveraging money. That's really what this, I just want to be clear. That's where my mind is at.
You're correct. But we've got numbers attached to this explanation you just gave. There's going to be 10,000 co-founders and there's going to be 1 million partners, and we're providing huge bonuses for both.
Right.
Because we want to be that strong. We want to be 1 million strong with imagine 1 million leaders all on the same page. Working together. Okay.
And I think if we explain that a little bit more clearly, maybe we would get more co-founders who think like us or understand it.
I agree with you. So part of the challenge that we have, Mary, when it comes to explaining stuff is the short attention span of the current Homo sapien on the planet. Okay. Getting close to the attention span of a goldfish, but in spite of that, we got to get the message through. That's why I believe having a course, we need to run people through a course, and then that's when they get the big benefits of we provide is they complete a course in order to get it right.
And then the micro lending website is also a engine that kind of like if you borrow, you're getting that $100 back that goes back into the PML, which is right. I don't know if everybody understands that and how it really works. Like, when you say
not everybody does understand it. So you're correct in thinking that not everybody, because that's a big word, everybody, right? So not everybody does understand, but that is, we don't lose hope over that. We're just like, well, we'll find the ones that don't understand and help clear it up for them. That's why we do these trainings so often, right? It's a way of getting the message to them. And the reason I'm a little disappointed in the attendance, the attendance is a third of what it should be, right? We have room for 300 here, but there's only 100 of us. There should be 700 people trying to grab 300 spots. That's what should be happening, But yeah, it doesn't matter. Eventually, everything's going to go into a course. Huh?
Yeah. This is not a pump and dump.
Oh, far from it. Yeah, it's the opposite.
Yeah, I know, but
this is a push to high prices and then price stability at the high prices. That's what you want to call this.
And then leverage your money and borrow against it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're catching on. That means a lot to me.
Well,
So
I mean, that's why
that's why you
I
show
just
up.
want to make sure I'm clear on how this works because, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I'm proud of your progress, Mary. How many of you joined me in being proud of the progress for Mary? Right. So
No, it's been,
making progress.
that has been my understanding all along.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. It's not, it's,
Well, when
I-
you get to the point you're really comfortable explaining it, then that'll be the great achievement, right? So
yeah, but that's been my understanding all along, but I don't anyhow, that's enough for tonight.
yeah.
Thank you.
So it's okay. What I can say is the challenge that most of us have is that pool funding is so many things to so many of us that it's hard to just talk about one thing, right? And sometimes that's where the confusion comes in because how do you put it in proper order? Ding, 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 ding. And that's where I think a course is going to matter. When we start off right off the conversation starts out, we're leveraging group cooperation. Here's why we do it, and here's how you benefit from it, And this is why you need to participate with the same attitude the rest of us have that we're cooperating because we want everybody to win. That's the first point we want to get across. But before we can make that point, we got to show them the benefit. What's the benefit? The benefit is we'll show you how to get $3,000 a month. Once you've got $6,000 of PML. So as soon as you've accumulated $6,000 PML, you could be pulling down $3,000 a month for the rest of your life. On something, another saying that we use is about the time it takes to make toast. Okay, about the time it takes to make toast, you could daily, you could make $100 every day, and $100 every day times 30 days is 3,000 a month. So that is significant for anyone in the world. 3,000 a month is significant, and if you got more than one adult in a household, it adds up. 3,000 for the husband, 3,000 for the wife, 3,000 for maybe the adult child that lives at home. There's $9,000 for that household. Wow, poverty smashing. This benefits humanity. It benefits the individual. It empowers the individual. And it doesn't take long to get there. Even if you start with nothing, all you got to do is start. And it will just like a machine grow and accumulate in a matter of a short few months, maybe less than 6 months. Even someone that started with nothing could go from nothing to 6 months having $6,000, and all of a sudden they're a harvester pulling in $3,000 a month for the rest of their lives. Every month, right? And then it's liquid enough that they could pull it out of the market, no problem. And as long as we all have the understanding that what we're trying to do is keep it between 1.5, 2 million. Maybe later on we bump that from 2 million to 3 million, and that becomes a new margin later on, But we just have these agreements that come out in our community that we agree to this and that we are cooperating with the agreement. That's it. Simple. Back to you, Paul.
Yeah, Mary's done a great job of kind of asking all the right questions and getting to a point where she understands things. And what she did was actually she used an example of a concept that everybody can understand, and that's I think how we could, if we could learn to introduce pool funding using concepts. The training that I do is how to introduce pool funding without mentioning pool funding. And
Yes.
I use concepts to explain that. There's a very simple one that describes DeFi so that people can understand that. Can I take a minute and just explain?
I love it. You got a minute. Go for it.
Thank you. Okay. So what I say to people is, look, imagine you've got $10 million worth of a valuable asset. Let's just say you've got $10 million worth of gold. Okay. You take 5 million of that and you put it onto a platform like Aave, whereby you will earn interest on that 5 million. Aave lend that out and they pay you interest that people pay to borrow from that. So you've got 5 million on there that you're earning interest from. Okay. So you've still got the other 5 million, which you can put onto the same platform as collateral. And you can say, I want to borrow 1 million against my 5 million collateral. So you still got your 10 million. You've got 5 in earning you income and 5 which you can borrow against. Okay. So the interest that you would pay back on the million is obviously far less than what you would gain on the 5 million. So that interest that you gain on the 5 million more than covers what you've borrowed on the 1 million. And yet you still get to hold and maintain ownership of all of your assets for all that period of time until you want to take it back off. That's how I explain it.
Well, the elite in the world, they call that infinity money because they use the same ideas that you just described there. So they never are short on money. The elite never run out of money because of what you just said, because they know where to position the money properly and proportionately so that they have infinite money coming in, right? It's literally infinite money. So that would be like, talk about a luxury economy. That's the whole idea. Get everybody to the point where they understand that it's not the lack of money in the world is the problem. It's the systems that are holding people back, right? And sometimes we just have to find a way to create a new system, which is what we're doing here in Pull Funding, create a new system so that it's not a shortage of money. It's just a matter of a system that works for all of humanity. And this could spread very quickly. So that's a good explanation, Paul. Appreciate you sharing that. Okay, well, anybody else? I think we had quite a few hands today. All right. Anyway, so we have a lot to celebrate. Very, very excited about where we're going in the future, how we're getting there. And I appreciate all of you, with your support. Okay. Just let me wrap up this one last idea that I've shared before multiple times, and here it is. Support the strong. Train the weak. Okay? Just put that in your head for a second. Support the strong. Do you know why we want to support the strong?
They carry us forward.
Okay. Any other ideas? Why do we support the strong?
Because they're our backbone.
The strong will support us.
Okay.
Yeah, keep the momentum going.
Here's the thing. If you don't support the strong will go away. Right? We're only as strong as our strongest people that are our members, right? So people like Paul, myself, Hunter, and others, we make up the strong. Okay. And yes, you should support us, give us time, give us money as needed, for whatever, we need to do so that we can, provide proper structure for, the plan that we're rolling with here. Okay. Because without structure, the plan doesn't work. Okay. So only the strong can actually, support structure. The weak will never be used as a way to support anything. Okay. It's the strong that do that. Support the strong, train the weak. Why do we train the weak? What's the purpose of training the weak?
So they become strong.
So they'll become strong one
So
day.
they become strong. And they get supported, right? So it's a pathway to strength. Okay. And that's the whole idea, because at the end of the day, what I'm all about is empowering the individual in mass. Okay. That's what I'm all about. And so from me to you, that's why we're here. That's what we're doing. We're building something that's going to benefit the individual in mass all over the whole world. And we do it because we support the strong and we train the weak. So anytime I'm asking for something, and I'm going to ask for something right now, it's important that I get you guys to properly support it. Okay. I need more positive comments on the wall of joy. All right. Every day. We need to load it up with positive energy. We have still some selling reports, and those are kind of like, a little bit disappointing to look at. Excuse me. But what we need in order to create momentum, we got to create momentum on the emotional level. Okay, that's where it starts. By the way, we start out emotionally, then it turns into money. Okay, so let's make sure that we're providing the positive emotional, nutrition or nurturing. And we do it on the Wall of Joy. That's the proper place to do it. You can also do it on the YouTube channel, comment in the videos. Excuse me. The air is so dry here in Las Vegas. It's also my skin is starting to be affected by it too. Definitely been used to a lot more humidity. All right. So there you go. Support the strong, train the weak. Let's go ahead and I'm requesting that all of you and anybody who watches this on YouTube, start putting positive comments out there, make a daily practice of it, because we need to show to each other that we got each other, that we're for each other, that we're here to win together. Okay. And if any of you feel like you're above that and that you don't have to put anything positive on there, then you're not really understanding the whole idea of cooperation, are you? I'm asking this from all of you, not just some. Okay. That's it. Jay, you want to comment on that?
So by positive messages, I mean like I see Scott put some like just uplifting messages to make people feel positive. Is that what you mean? Okay.
Even if it's something as simple like, today is Wednesday, and I plan on making it a great day.
Okay.
It could be something really simple.
Yeah,
what Scott's doing is he's putting some thought into it. We can use Scott example here. Let me share the screen. We just use him as an example of his creativity and how it's really helping us. We love it. So let's find a recent thing from Scott. I know there's one here. Recent thing from Scott. This is the Wall of Joy, right? Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's still too many people are using this as like a technical support group instead of what it is. It's a motivation group, right? It's really what it's meant to do. Scott, there you are. There's Scott right there. Okay. Pull Funding Wall of Joy. Strong movements are built by people who take responsibility for their actions, their growth, and the people they bring into the community. Thank you to everyone showing leadership by being selective, supportive, and aligned with our values. When the right people come together, momentum follows naturally. Let's keep building with integrity, patience, and purpose. The future we're creating is bigger than any one of us. Right? And then these little hearts and thumbs, that's also a way that you can add positivity here. Just, you see something positive, give it a heart, give it a thumbs up. That is a simple thing to do. But the Wall of Joy is meant to be uplifting and to provide that encouragement to all of us that we're in this together, right? We're all for one and one for all. Okay. That's the whole point. Thank you, Scott, for leading in this category. And we appreciate you. Hunter is also a great leader in this category, among others, right? We appreciate all of you that lead in this way. But again, you don't have to be elaborate. Just share a good feeling, or talk about your dreams. When I get my funding next year, I'm going to use it to help the homeless. Whatever, pick a passion, and share that. There's 1,000 ways to put a positive message, and you can put any positive message that you want onto the Wall of Joy. Sound good?
Yep.
All right. Because
Yes.
we have about 1,500 people to uplift. We got to lift them all up because they're not all here. There's
Yep.
less than 100 here now, so they're not all here. So we need to go where they're at. They're on the Wall of Joy. That's where they're at. Okay, everyone. Thank you all for coming to another one of our paid trainings that we do on Mondays and Thursdays. I look forward to seeing you again on Thursday. We're not going to have the normal business op meeting on Tuesday night like we normally do. That's not going to happen this week. So the next time you'll see me will be on Thursday in a group setting like this. So I want to wish you all well till then. And we can do this. I'm super excited, and I know we can do this. How about you? We can do it, right?
Absolutely. Thank you,
Yeah,
Ace.
we can do it.
We can
Absolutely.
get her done.
Yeah, we
Bye,
can.
Ace.
Bye, Ace. Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Ace.
Bye.
Good night from Las Vegas.
Good
Good
night.
night, Ace.
Everybody,
Good night, sir.
see you on